going to be bad.
All right, Vegas, it is time to shine. Subliners could lock in for champs. Vegas need this victory to stay in the running for champs. We got our casters ready to rock. Welcome back to the show. We got I Hold Shift and Mr. Proper.
Thank you, friends. Appreciate that so much. And I think the last points that were just made by both Ali and Ant are right on the head here when it comes down to what this series looks like. New York, they have been tested when it comes to longer series, not having the greatest map flexibility. So go into this Vegas matchup, give a chance for Expo, and then on top of that, try to flex into some other of your lower played maps overall. Whereas for Vegas, I mean, the stakes are high. And I think the only thing about these hard points is that these are not the worst hard point maps overall here, Proper.
No, it hasn't. And even historically, as the desk was talking about, Vegas have always struggled versus New York, even in those ever so wanted search and destroy maps. Even for this Fortress, 2 and 4 for Vegas, 5 and 6 for New York. And well, you can just see why New York are so good. 3rd overall for rotation and break percentage when it comes down to Fortress. For me, when it comes down to Vegas, I'll agree with Ali. It's got to be in the search and destroys, and that Expo is almost given. Now New York want to strengthen their map set ahead of champs in Toronto.
Lots of things to learn here, but for New York, it's win and you're in. For Vegas, you win, you stay alive. Fortress, map number 1. Let's get it home.
Starting off on the favorite side, of course, for Vegas, it comes down to a lot of different situations at hand. They do well to at least take down HyDra very early on, but Priestahh is also able to slip the net, get behind enemy lines. Vegas shouldn't be too concerned with it, given the fact that you still have a minor set of art control, as well as player number 7 of 10. Still trying to contest P1.
Oh, nice little read there, Priestahh dropping from the high ground. So even though Las Vegas will not quite have an opportunity to stay on the hill, a chance to still contest for that left side of the mini-map. Clayster trying to keep his life. HyDra on pursuit, but can't quite finish off the elimination. And with kills coming from the push from the front, now Las Vegas will have a really solid position, not just for the scrap, but they have numbers that try to get Priestahh out from the back. New York still spawning all the way on the other side of the map, and Priestahh's going to get surprised here. Nice moment for the Legion on rotation.
And Priestahh might have thought that he might have been able to anchor a couple spawns, but you saw New York all effectively spawning in over by P3, so that's been a great little pushback for Vegas off the opening rip. They'll be setting themselves up pretty comfortably here as far as P2 is concerned. Clayster, a lot to do here inside of Art 4 in a row.
A lot of space given, though, from the front. No one was even looking over towards the archway, and KiSMET just strolls on in for a double. Temp does allow an opportunity for Legion to still spawn relatively close to the back. New York very aware of this, though. Priestahh and KiSMET both at the ready. They clear out the interior of this inside munitions area, leaving Nastie as one of the only players left, but him and Clayster in a little 2v4. They clean up the scrap time, and with 25 seconds, Vegas is also already focused on Fountain.
And it's massive for Nastie. Finds a 6th kill. Both him and Clayster have a combined 12 and 4 through 2 hard points, more or less. Still a lot of time left to be fought over here when it comes down to it. A lot of players for New York for Nastie to try to take down. Goes for the challenge, gets cut down. You're still okay with this if you are Vegas. I mean, contested time over by P2 is good. And you got to set yourself up for the Fortress of Solitude for a full 60 at 3.
Ooh, but look at the spawn. Second hard point still active. Kills for New York are on the way in. And that's going to push Vegas out from this position at Fountain almost completely. Last one left is Clayster off the reload, waiting for assistance through mid-map, but New York is very privy to the pinch play that's coming from behind. Now they've got numbers to flood. They should also at least be able to block spawns here on this break attempt. Clayster holding the backside of Fountain, gets the first, turns his attention maybe for more. How about this all of a sudden for Vegas? Cleanup secured, and with that time now being earned.
Clayster's coming so different right now, is why you see him getting electric as far as his comms are concerned on yet another spree. Gets overwhelmed from HyDra, at least through the big arch. No trades to really speak of. Priestahh is going to at least gift one trade over towards Vegas, but they're not going to spawn in any position. They're trying to contest this back 20 seconds. Very scrappy as the opening set here on Fortress so far, but Vegas walking away with a good chunk of time there at P3 and now set themselves up mid-map for the rotation to 4.
And kind of ultimately, even though Vegas has a couple of good moments, cleaning up, getting in towards the back time at P2, and then the same thing there, kind of recovering their setup towards Fountain, they really don't get as much time as you would have expected considering how clean the kills were. The scrap time on the second largely went to New York, and then even there at the end, Vegas doesn't quite get the full hold to scrap at Fountain. So New York have kept themselves in this game considering Vegas and their polish on these break attempts. As we head back over to munitions for the first time, Skyz deep towards Gallows, cleans up the back. New York looking to follow through. That will flip the spawns. Clayster one of the last ones to try to contest the hard point, but KiSMET's got him blocked on this cross. Nice awareness though from Clay as he does take the elimination. Now Vegas have a chance to break.
Oh, big kill to take down HyDra. Just got him worried about Priestahh. He's up inside top rails. Can't let this guy get too much work done. They will take him out. Top rails, 9P looked at for Vegas. Another clean kill feed comes through. 20 seconds still left to soak here inside of P4. And well, HyDra might try to give a good shake at it, but just a couple of exits is all he's really going to realistically find for himself. This rotation over towards 5 is going to be a big one. You can see New York conceding a lot of space, trying to get stables in their favor ahead of the Blacksmith hardpoint.
Well, KiSMET's going to be in trouble here. Just too many angles to watch over. Skyz on top balcony. Good for the double. TJ, top window, will deny any possibility for New York to get a super solid setup here at New. And in fact, Vegas actually have a chance with the little split spawn situation to create problems on both sides of the map at once. Priestahh up top just kind of wondering what he could do from this position, and ultimately, he just kind of has to play his life while the rest of New York does eventually start to spawn up in concentration behind them.
A lot of maps control coming through for New York, but I mean, all the angles and everything else is just being held so wonderfully for Vegas. Got to get past Temp, who's holding the angle over inside the open archway. That's not a fun head glitch to go up against when you are top maps itself. Placers still frying, numbers now starting to follow through for New York, but as soon as they try to even think about getting on the hard point, Vegas cut them down. A fantastic first set of hard points coming through for the Vegas Legion, and they are absolutely letting New York have it. Clay is 19-6. Bance kill number 20 as well. It's a combined 5-3 for Sandy. He works his way up to 15-10.
Now you've got some real good hold setup for Vegas over towards 1 as well, with Placer, as you mentioned, getting his 20th kill from the front. Standy surviving and getting kills off the exit of Old. New York getting a couple of trades, a chance to make their way back over towards stables, largely to the middle of the map, but Clay has stayed safe from that mid-crossing angle. Help is on the way, but is it going to get here fast enough is the real question. Temp tested, but provides the double, and with that, Standy cleans up on the hard point itself, and now Vegas a chance to really grow a sizable lead.
And you even heard the devs talking about it, right? I mean, the stylistic difference as far as Vegas are concerned versus New York, they have lost all 3 series so far, have yet to take a single hard point off of New York, and they've been getting absolutely worked, almost fully rinsed as far as the kill department is concerned. 166-67, almost a 100-point lead for Vegas ahead of this rotation 4-2. Did not have this on my bingo card, brother.
Well, at the moment, Vegas playing with the same kind of fuego they had yesterday. Maybe a little bit cleaner than yesterday. In fact, as TJ, good gunshots into Priestahh. Placer looking to finish off the kill and will be successful in his feet. 175-68. And I'm sure a lot of people right now are scratching their head like, what is happening with New York? Not quite able to set themselves up and hold anything around these hard points at the moment. The breaks from Vegas have been great. And as they still control some spawns, now Placer starts to make his move on in. Hard point goes neutral. Skyz the only one to really contest at the moment. Standy, though, caught trying to pinch the play. And with that, the Subliners will get an opportunity to fight for the back 40 of this hill.
I mean, Clay for the entry. I mean, the guy's 24-8. Let this guy take as many gunfights as possible if you are Vegas. Let's go ahead and listen to how they sound with the Vegas Legion. Listen in.
Front back, you can push.
They're gonna have to get this.
This is a good ass time. Yeah, cannon box, HyDra. 3, 4, P1. One just spawned, bottom boat window and 3 gate.
P1 and 2 gate, yep, P1. Priestahh P1, he might stay
Army
out.
closed dead, I got him. I'm going back to
Priestahh
boat.
might stay out P1.
Heard.
KiSMET's gonna spawn out right. Go.
Bad for this guy. I'm gonna stun P1.
He's got a trophy P1. I took 2 ticks off it. 2 ticks off.
I didn't stun him. Might be in the truck.
I took 2 ticks off it. I don't know what he is. He's on me, top map. Top map, HyDra. Skyz, on me, bitch.
I'm working maps.
Bench,
I think I block gate.
Yeah, one front, hitting front, big guard dead. I'm stunning a native time.
I'm flying at this guy.
I stuck him.
One hitting big arch.
Back kill, did you get him?
No, he's back kill on me.
Back kill still.
Finessing, I'm one shot in the back dead.
No one front on you, Nick.
We're good.
Let's see, hide your kids.
Front dead.
Kids,
I'm getting maps.
I'm one shot.
Yeah, it's on you. Big arch for you. I got a big arch.
Nice, get hill.
Trying to get time. I got naded. Hold up.
They're all spawning out.
Front.
Front dead.
Nice, just shit.
Big arch, dome statue.
Statue, HyDra.
I'm all front.
Statue and bottom art.
I'm all front.
Green box. Play together. 14.
Vegas unbelievably disciplined when it comes to finishing off the scrap at 2, and then you heard the electricity as soon as they realized there was an opening to get into Fountain, and with that break, a chance to put this game to rest here quickly if they can just find one more break in towards munitions.
I mean, it's almost just picture perfect, damn near flawless coming through for Vegas. One good break is all they need. 227 to 111. New York need to hold on. They are getting put on skates in this series so far. Clayster's pushing the side door. You also found assistance through front single. Vegas looking to break.
TJ from the front, off the regen, deals with Priestahh. Bounces out, knows he doesn't have help immediately here to try to hit this. Help is on the way though from the outside of the map. TJ may just do it all himself. No, Skyz up top. Gets 2. HyDra there to assist as New York will still stay into the hard point. Temp turned around and Priestahh's kill may lead to an opportunity for New York to continue to fight for this, but he actually dives forward. The spawns got flipped in the meantime of all that chaos. So with that, Vegas spawn in force from behind the hill. They walk into the hard point, take the eliminations they need, and New York are not really in a position to fully hit this to try to stop them from getting about 2 points away from victory.
Can only realistically give up 1 second. You want to talk about flawless hardpoint, you can only allow 1 single segment, 1 good break, quite literally, is all Vegas need, and they will put this to rest. HyDra's going to be able to at least find 3. He gets traded out, space being provided. Look at where New York are spawning. They're going to be able to get this mid lane control, but Vegas looking to flank through P3.
Have to get a read on this if you're the Subliners. First shot's good. That's TJ from behind. It actually spins KiSMET to being off the point. Has to get this win. Doesn't finish the kill. TJ's still alive in the back line. Clayster's gonna help Temp get through, and with that, Legion will touch, and Clay lets him know that was a 2.0 KD performance from the young man.
From the young man, indeed, Clay came to play today. Oh my God. I mean, like, again, like he was entering a lot of these engagements with an AR in hand. Clay looking like he's 18 and cracked once more out here on Fortress Hardpoint, because I mean it was very handshaky going back and forth. Very scrappy was the first set of hardpoints, and then we get in and around P4 towards P5, and then you start seeing a lot of the decision making coming through was confirmed through the listen, and Vegas are absolutely twisted on the day. They know it's a must-needed match win. 34 and 16 out of Clayster with 3,300 damage. My heavens! I mean, if we just bring up and talk about the stats, what they look like across the entire year. You look at what Vegas just did versus New York in this opening map number 1, you would call us just a bunch of dirty liars that are looking at crazy numbers.
And think about it too, we kind of heard about it from Temp talking about stylistically, this is a really tough matchup for them. The spread of hill time across all 4 members is nearly dead even for Vegas. So maybe the conversation point here is, let's not force ourselves into rigid ways where we're expecting players like TJ just to stand in the hill, everyone else just kind of watches over him, Standy can go rogue. Like, if you're nearby, get into the hard point. Don't make it difficult for us to still play off of the objective. And initially, I was a little bit worried in that first set of rotations between the second and the third hill, because even though Vegas had a nice little cleanup for scrap time at 2, they really didn't get much time after that clean wipe. And then the same thing almost happened at Fountain for the first time. But I will say, as we got into our second set of hills, Vegas looked really polished, and the concentration was absolutely there through that listening.
Yeah, the listening just speaks so many volumes. I mean, when we ended up having ourselves in that middle of the listen, you got to see a really coordinated break, and I mean a very coordinated break. When you were in that listening, you heard everybody talking about, I'm blocking knee spawns, okay, I'm in this position, now we can start pressing forward towards the hill. The help was immaculate from the AR lineup to keep Standy and TJ in such annoying positions that it never allowed New York to really kind of dictate the pace of the middle of the map. It's almost something that we've come to expect from New York, especially in their hard points, but I mean, even right here, you got to see Clay at the very end just letting them have it. He knew that all of Vegas Legion turned up when it mattered the most here in a very integral map 1.
Yeah, huge map number 1 without question. Mercado, Search and Destroy now awaits us. This is Vegas's choice. And we already heard from Ali in the desk how good Vegas has been in Search. One of the best in the CDL, which is surprising considering the circumstances around their potentially missing out on playoffs. But taking away map number 1 opens up so many pathways for them to get into a position to take this series, especially if you can find your way to go up 2-0, especially on top of that, New York, we have not seen them on an Expo control, so a lot of question marks still wait for us, pending things, of course, continue forward with Vegas looking this strong.
The vibes, smiles across the faces of Vegas Legion. It does need to be said, I mean, there is a certain asterisk on the side for New York Subliners, the same thing that we were talking about for OpTic Texas yesterday versus Vegas Legion. This is crunch time to try to buffer up your map set, but it's by no stretch of the imagination do they want to just lose this and give Vegas Legion an opportunity to work their way back inside of a champ's contention. A lot more things have to go through, but this would be a big win for Vegas, and it becomes even more concerning when we talk about the Search and Destroy. Here's some more for stats when it came down towards that Fortress Hardpoint, map number 1. And again, I mean, just the help was all there. Clayster with a 2.13 with an AR in hand. He's looking different.
I'll say, wow, that is a lot of great stat lines across the board, especially considering the matchups that these two teams have had in the past. I mean, HyDra has just had his way with this Vegas team. Priestahh as well continues to find tons of success with AR, but here and now, things looking really solid for Vegas, and the vibe's still high across the board as we look in towards this Mercado search and destroy. Statistically speaking, again, if you're Vegas, you gotta be feeling really good about your chances of going 2-0 up here.
Well, it gives you the buffer, right? Because, I mean, historically, search and destroy is good for Vegas. We've always sung the praises about how their maps 2 and 5 have always been really good, if not always close, in winning them out. But against New York, not so much. As you can see, the S&D Mercado this season between the two teams, the only time that Vegas have been able to not only just win a map, barring that Fortress map number 1 we just saw, was the Fortress Search and Destroy back in stage 1 when they were still playing with Prologue. You gotta have the Search and Destroy here. Make a statement if you're Vegas.
And hopefully, I think for a lot of people out there, just reduce the mistakes when things get tight.
That's fair.
We'll see how it goes. Skyz sniping off the rip. Clayster will be seen and throws another shoulder. Maybe he didn't actually see the scope at all of Skyz. Thought for a second he was just going to try to see if anyone's hitting it through mid, but Skyz will connect for the first blood. HyDra following up, and all of a sudden Vegas is completely stuck at mid-map. A lot of eggs in the same basket. Temp trying to push through, but no. Priest is there to meet him, and New York will take a very quick opening search.
I mean, it's Mercado Lasama search and destroy, baby. Round 1 at that. You don't want to try to kind of what happened, especially by way of Bance's day that we saw there in the first series versus London. You got to try to almost go over towards mid, and it's a simple setup with Skyz with the sniper rifle. He's been really good for first bloods for New York all year long. And just a couple kills come through dictation of the pace through the map once all of New York knew where Vegas were coming from.
Yep. Okay, not a lot to learn off of that outside of the fact that Skyz is sniping. I think if you're Vegas, will there be a response? Yes. Clayster will try to almost do the exact same thing. Standy using that cover as a chance to push aggressively in through tunnel, and it is a wide open A site. New York going to give away a lot of space, looking to play retake. One late stun comes out just to see if Vegas have pushed forward. It doesn't land, but Standy avoids it by getting up on top of the hut. That's good for a first blood, and with that, a chance to plant, but HyDra actually sneaks his way into mid. Clay gave up the angle, and now with the bomb down, HyDra says, let me hit the triggers, go quickly. Clay going to be tested and absolutely rinsed as HyDra takes the chow.
Always got to try to keep tabs on where HyDra's located at. Just because you found that first kill of your Standy, it's not on the HyDra. Your flank in your mid-map might never be secure. 2v3. Standy's been able to recover this bomb, has that silence and a Semtex should he want to use it.
Standy just going to stretch, get the plant off. Skyz checking, but cannot see Standy on this angle. So we go to a 2v3 post plant. Standy looking to contest over through elbow. Dead silence out, gets on the corner, finds the first but not the second. Trade is immediately in. Down to Temp, who has also popped the dead silence of his own. Repositioned for New York through mid. Temp gets a nice read on the first. 1v1 Priestahh chasing, and Temp is out of there with the reset of dead silence. He's going to re-aggress back through tunnel. Priestahh predicts it, gets the shots, and oh, they're clean. And that's going to be enough for New York to have plenty of time to defuse and go up 2-0.
Easy reads for Priestahh. I mean, he was chasing Ghost there. Thought he had Temp dead to rights in the back alleyway. Temp escapes narrowly inside of Barber. And then Priestahh, of course, knowing that Temp's going to play for the regen there in that instance, has to come back and check the bomb with so much time before it detonates. Just gets the centering there on tunnel. Anything else probably would have been a re-wrap through the back alleyway, but it would have taken so much time.
Yeah.
Priestahh just all the wiser, able to rectify off of that first blood by way of HyDra. Again, just getting away with highway robbery, being able to fly through the middle of the map, found the trade, and then just completely, like you said, just rinse Clay off of that clothing truck over by P4.
And think about the mind games that's going to play in the future towards anyone looking over towards mid. You're not going to feel good about giving up that angle if HyDra's doing stuff like that. Priestahh moved forward through a couple of nades, just trying to keep the defense interested, but as he's tagged up and KiSMET drops over towards B, New York are kind of out of options at the moment. They don't have any intel over towards A. You've got HyDra in a good position over through tunnel, but no dead silence for him. And honestly, New York kind of have to force the square peg into the round hole, and TJ's gotten a read on this.
Yeah, TJ is just going to go through mid. I love this call. With Standy finding that first kill, there was nobody else to try to push for that trade on a KiSMET. So not everybody from Vegas give up what is looking like an A defense. They know that it very much so could still be coming over here. The focus for Vegas' defense is still around this bomb site.
This is so tough. You have to clear off both floors of Cantina if you're New York before you can even think about attacking this A site. TJ sneaking forward on the bottom floor. Clayster nearby on the backside of stairs. And HyDra is just going to lurk his way through the site. Clayster is watching. HyDra will drop. Priestahh looking for the trade, but there's not a lot of opportunity here for the Subliners. Temp very wisely collects the kill mid-map in a very calm round for Vegas, denying the little bait and switch play towards B.
So disciplined, our Vegas Legion on search and destroy again. With Standy finding that first one on a KiSMET who was overextending over by the B bomb side. If you can find that kill on Standy, if you can clear it all, you would have seen the bomb from New York just fly over towards the elephant room, but it's not going to be the case at all. And again, with Standy not seeing anybody try to chase for that chow for the trade, you know that that's going to be coming back to the middle of the map. TJ picks it up, gets the information like you said, and then it's just all hunkered up over by the Cantina building with your 2 ARs. Wonderfully done there for Vegas.
Now the question, after HyDra's last defensive aggression coming through mid, how does Vegas try to win the middle map? Clay with attack, Standy once again through tunnel quickly. New York voluntarily giving away a lot of space. The problem is Standy is once again going to surprise. He's going to take down all 3 backside hedges. Beautiful read for Standy, now on for the potential ace. Sneaks underneath the sight of Skyz and will take down all 4. What a responsive 2 rounds for Vegas to get us knotted up.
As Standy all season long, I mean, he's barely behind Clayster as far as first blood win percentage is concerned. Let's take a look at it again. Eli, smile on his face, gets the read off the information from the sun. He knows that sun hit back hedges, baby. Also sees just the top of the head of HyDra, rips them all to shreds, and then just makes the right call. Man, what an ace coming through from Standy. A big 2 rounds in a row for Vegas.
So now both teams kind of have some things for each other to think about when it comes to mid-map play. New York, once again, going to try to split the map just a touch. HyDra looking to go early through warehouse and see what's over towards this B cross. Everybody else for the Subliners staying very passive on this back alleyway. And here comes TJ. Dead silence at the ready and active, trying to get control. Barbershop right off the rip. He sees the door being popped open, and he may actually find the timing to get one. Oh, but right around the corner, Priestahh keeps his life. Skyz to deny the potential flank, and now New York are almost bunkered up and, if not maybe stuck in towards A. But HyDra's long con works out. The kill onto Temp, and now all of a sudden Standy says, how did you get there?
He popped dead silence to get there, Alan. And he's able to come through cuts. Temp was unaware of it. Now Standy looking to reflank this. I don't know if HyDra should be aware that Standy's still over here, but he might just be gifted the timing. Nice shots on a TJ. Numbers dwindling for Vegas.
So now HyDra has become a huge problem. Isolation is not there. Standy ready for the gunfight though. Semtex out and HyDra says, I'm out of here. Come find me if you want to. My teammates are planning. And this 4v2 post plant, the longer HyDra stays alive, the more unlikely Vegas are to get this reclaim of the A site. Everyone's still just looking, worried about when HyDra's going to try to pinch. But without any contact on the site itself, this round very well may just be chalked, and it seems like that's going to be the case. Standy not really in a position to do too much from back here.
He wants that 6th kill, which is why he was very focused on finding where HyDra was located. He might get the gunfight chow. That's not an easy one. Still trying to take the gunfight. He's being swarmed. Look at the yellow arrows on the mini-map. Standy, he's going to be able to find 2 in a row. His 7th spree stays alive. The bomb's about to detonate. I thought we were about to have back-to-back aces for kills. New York, we're going to win the round regardless, but, I mean, Standy, that boy's shooting right now in the search.
Say 7 in a row is where it ends. Cruise missile earned. And what so far has been a very tight game of tug-of-war between both of these 2 teams. That could be the edge in this particular map. What's the calm here, though, I think, if you're Vegas coming into this next offense? I mean, we've seen a little bit of everything outside of a hard commit over towards B. Would this maybe be the round to think about trying to do something crazy early? No, it's not. All 4 members going back alley, looking to maybe just kind of overwhelm the A site. And they're going to get full Cantina control again as New York just continue to voluntarily give away space over towards A, looking for retake through mid.
We saw this early from New York. The difference, the adaptation, stun that mid lane. Do not allow HyDra to cross back over here for free. Temp's going to find first blood. Skyz is sniping back Banana. The bomb's not comfortable enough to try to lay down right now, but Vegas with a man advantage.
This is all Vegas saying. They have to still contest this some way. Just wait. They're going to have to check. And that will allow Temp his 2nd elimination in the round. HyDra red on the flank. That's enough for Standy to consider the plan, and yeah, he's going to get it off, no worries. I mean, I think this is just one of those situations where if you're New York, this really hasn't worked out for you all that well when it comes to playing the defensive retake here at A. Temp's going to get his 3rd on for maybe an ace of his own, but his teammate beats him to the punch. But Vegas take a very, very casual offensive round.
Yeah, I mean, fool me once. If you're HyDra, right, he was able to at least utilize that silence a few defenses ago and just hit through the middle of the map. The was able to find a kill through the mid tunnel and then fully wrapped back behind Barber. The stun confirms that HyDra's there. And then a player top Cantina, I believe was Temp, also confirmed that HyDra will push all the way to the backside of parking lot to try to repinch this along with Skyz, who was sniping over back banana. It's just really good isolation for New York, or for Vegas, excuse me. But if you are New York, there's just no reason why you shouldn't ever allow a team to get full A coverage like that so soon.
Yeah, the retake just has not gone all that well for them. This time it's going to be all 8 members just about over towards A, looking for quick aggression on both sides. Trophy systems denying utility on both sides. Standy up top in towards Cantina, though, will technically win this battle for Vegas's defense. KiSMET is not a part of this play, so Priestahh is on an island, and Vegas look like they want to try to chow him out. Priestahh gets the first, and how about the little hop up to get the second? Oh, goodness. From a 3v2 to a 1v2. Temp on 3 in a row. Is going to safely get the reload, but Priestahh is looking for comms for KiSMET, who's saying, B's wide open, bud, come on over.
Look at the bottom right of your screen. Temp's got a trophy. Oh, man, he's going to make a lot of noise upon this wrap. A hold mid map. Gonna expect it to go over towards A, but he would guess wrong. It is going straight over towards B. Bomb's still not planted yet, so Temp might be able to find some pretty good timing once he comes out of dark or through the cuts.
KiSMET playing top window. Priestahh, how does he get off the bomb here on the exit? That's out. A couple of shots from KiSMET pushes Temp off the angle. Priestahh now using the bomb as a heady. KiSMET tagged. Ultimately fine. Continues to check for information. Priestahh playing his right side cross. As soon as KiSMET falls, Priestahh likely makes the go. There's the bait and switch. Temp's still alive. Gets a read onto both players. Not quite able to gun the first. Good prediction towards Priestahh, but ultimately Priestahh wins the round, finding the last 3 kills. Most importantly, getting himself out of Cantina.
Yeah, you just almost feel like that Temp was going to run out of bullets before KiSMET gave him a full challenge from top window of 10. But yeah, I mean, Priestahh just by brute force put on his best Captain America impression. He quite literally fought his way out of such a tough situation. And like you said, I mean, what started in a 3v2 ended in a 1v2, favoring that of New York. That was just an absolute blunder inside of Cantina. That was favoring for Vegas. It's a big round bounce back for New York as now they lead by 1.
That's now 4 kills in a row for Priestahh at 9-3. Stuns landing for New York as they try to fight for the lower side of Cantina right off the rip. Nades up top, also allowing HyDra to push on forward with Priestahh next to him. And New York will come out convincingly in favor of this opening duel. Bomb dropped for Vegas in a very terrible position, trying to fight it back with Clay and Temp in the 2v4.
Yeah, they both have ARs, right? Temp's going to give away his position by closing the door. Priesthah's just got a sub. He just got to play this angle. Would be able to get himself a cruise missile to match that of Standy's.
Temp right up top. Glacier working on the first floor. HyDra shots. Keep this very, very much so at bay for Vegas. Temp trying something heroic, not going to work out. Second attempt. Nope, Skyz just playing with his food. And for New York, I love it. Just play the crossfire. Don't give anything up. Don't give him a chance at this. Priestahh, good for... No, actually, it's HyDra who gets the 2 kills. So Priestahh does get shut down from the cruise missile, but ultimately New York put themselves on map point.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, you're quite frankly okay. You see Priestahh give himself a little chuckle there. Albeit did not get himself the cruise missile. The damage is done so early. And we talked about the adaptations, even defensively for New York, who again have been throwing a lot of focus in the middle of the map. Maybe HyDra hits a long wrap all the way through Forklift, making the very longest wrap possible. But they recognize that Vegas have been getting inside Cantina. A lot of their focus is always inside Cantina. Just beat them there, get some good stuns and nades inside of the windows, and then you can contest it with 2 submachine guns. Wonderfully adapted there for New York.
Skyz re-wrapping back through mid. HyDra here with him. Sniper rifle to take away that long cross through Van. Standy playing over towards dark. He throws a shoulder. He can lose his life, and there it is. Temp does respond, though, so HyDra, who is trying to push forward, does get denied. We stay 3v3, and Clay says, all right, well, someone's got to go over towards B. So ultimately, he will make that move, and Vegas will be left with 2 defenders over towards the B site. KiSMET, I believe, has just seen Temp. Trophy system down to try to keep this defense safe. But the X factor here could just very well be TJ. KiSMET jumping across. Nice little double hit, though. Does allow a trade to come through. Temp now into the 1v2. Ooh. At least over towards the top of the site. Skyz is going to get a hit marker, but can't follow up with the pistol. And Vegas, as Clay was rotating over, will assist for the final kill to stay alive in the map.
TJ just being able to only find 1 right there. You saw KiSMET come flying out from the balcony, understanding that that top awning was going to have to be the main focus. Gets immediately traded out against TJ. But that hit marker, again, I feel like we can start a compilation for how many hit markers Skyz has truly gotten all year long. He's going to be feeling the punishment of that one as he tried to chase the kill on a Temp over by Dumpster. X12 pistol, not going to be able to get the job done versus Temp in the AR. As Vegas Legion just hold on ever so slightly, keep this within one.
KiSMET looking like he's got more bark than bite right now. 0-6 as his team is still just a round away from getting out of this in a 1-1 map count tie. But Vegas this time will get free control, and Priestahh has shown himself. Tags are in, but yeah, there we go. Final shot does land. Cruise missile also being called in at the same time. Is there a chance to collect this kill? No, not quite, but New York have to scramble, and the defense has to play heavy-handedly over through tunnel. Lots of nades come out, but there is no plant here. New York were really fringing on the play that Vegas were going to call the cruise and then plant behind it, but that's not the case, and Legion will hold a 4v3 advantage.
Standy was the one carrying the bomb, and also the one with the cruise missile. A little bit of a mistake coming through for Vegas. They still have a man advantage, but I mean, New York are giving them the chows. 4v2.
Yeah. Solid read after all those nades came through that New York were stacked up in towards tunnel. Standy now gets the plant off. A couple of shots towards KiSMET, who backs away, keeps his life, but this is a very tall ask for a 2v4. Skyz trying to see what's over through tunnel. Nothing on his cross initially. Standy playing close. There's the help from up top. And how about Vegas? Couple rounds in a row. We're going round 11.
And again, it starts and stops with one of the biggest woes for New York. I mean, I get it coming through from their perspective. That's now back-to-back defenses that they threw at Vegas, and they completely negated any sort of Cantina control. But I mean, Vegas are just relentless. Their play call was to get inside Cantina. First blood came through from Clayster as Priestahh was trying to get the jump up. The cruise missile gets called in. Nerve-wracking as it may be, you typically get a bomb plant soon after as everybody's hiding away from the cruise missile. But I mean, Vegas just the wiser, knowing that 3 members from New York still alive. They have to check the bomb. They're going to throw those challenges. Just maintain numbers, force out the round 11.
Even in the round 11 records on the season so far for both these two teams, as New York is going to go right back into all 4 members hitting over towards A immediately. Standing on the corner, just waiting for the door to pop. TJ next to him. And even on top of that, gonna actually get to the awning, take down Skyz. First blood tallied and almost gets another. KiSMET still pushing through for his first kill. Priestahh's the one to kind of turn the tides though, and how about that for a hit for New York? Clay the last one left. 1v3, dead silence will expire, and he's got a Vaznev. No bomb plant though, and the longer the bomb stays not fully planted, the more an opportunity Clayster has, especially if he can find the kill into Priestahh. Stands right next to him, first kill's in. Shots deep. Clay wants the challenge. It's HyDra on the corner, there's the shoulder. Tries to predict where KiSMET's coming from, they line up, but no! New York still come out the victors in the gunfight. They take round 11 and tie us up 1 apiece, and Priestahh has a little sigh of relief there at the end.
Oh man, some oxygen was also just relieved out of the body of HyDra right there. Seeing it there at the final few moments, both lined up. Woo, man, it got close. I saw that setup initially coming through from Vegas. We've seen that on Mercado Las Almas for Vegas a lot throughout this entirety of the Modern Warfare 2 year. If Clay's more than likely going to be that sole defender over by B, he typically is going to pull dead silence and a Vaznev. You saw Standy trying to press up inside Cantina. As you called, New York, they were already inside that building seemingly yesterday. TJ kept them at bay, but I mean, by the time that New York got the information where these Vegas members were located at, they just completely chowed every single correct angle, found all the kills required. Combined 22 eliminations between Priestahh and HyDra.
Yep.
Definitely a main focus as far as New York's success there. As far as Mercado map number 2 is concerned, albeit Standy with a massive spree, 3 first bloods, 11 and 8 was not enough to carry Vegas across the finish line in another round 11.
Wow. A little bit of a sting right there for Vegas, who's seen a lot of search and destroys in these last 48 hours go the distance, but ultimately New York make the correct adjustments, and now it's all about how good has the work and the prep been done, because it's Expo Control. First time we'll have a chance to watch the Subliners on the map. Otherwise, Vegas looking to try to find a way to keep this flex pick in their favor and take this series to a 2-1 count. We'll see how it goes. Expo Control coming up right after the break.
The 2023 CDL Championship Weekend will be live and in person June 15th to 18th in Las Vegas at the Thomas & Mack Center, UNLV. You don't want to miss this bigger-than-life weekend, and we're almost sold out, so don't wait. Scan the QR code and get your tickets today.
Upgrade your game with the Scup, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
Welcome back, friends, family, all you COD fanatics. I hold shift here with Proper as we find ourselves locked into a 1-1 count. And a little look behind the scenes as the boys in Columbus are working hard to make sure that everything in Minnesota is still looking good, as well as all of our normal matches. But as we continue to look towards the Expo coming up, have to still have a second to praise the scuff play of the game coming out of Priestahh. This was arguably a series-winning play from him, being stuck up top by himself, little hop up, getting 3 in the round, and then eventually finding a way to get the bomb planted here at B.
That was all with TJ finding first blood. Keep in mind, Priestahh literally had to fight his way out of a corner. You never want to stick an animal in a cage, and his name is Priestahh. That guy came a little diffy as far as that round 6 is concerned, man. And you're going to need a little bit of that and some more going in towards this map number 3 out, especially out of the big dog of Priestahh.
Absolutely the case. Big question marks here for New York. Again, we kind of heard it from the desk, and it's very accurate to say that the Fortress Control was one of their bread and butter map mode combos across the entire best of 5 series. But without that being there, we have yet to see the Subliners play on Expo. And I think the end-all be-all is you can't just rely that Hotel's going to make it through the veto process. You need to have at least 2 good control maps, and it just comes down to what will we get from them on this map they have yet to touch.
They vetoed it 6 times, Alan, ever since it's come out. Gotta take a main focus on the Standy, though. I mean, albeit in a loss, this guy was coming just crazy in the past 2 maps for Vegas Legion. 1.25 KD on Expo Control. 19 kills per 10 minutes? Come on, Eli. Let's calm down a little bit. Gotta be feeling right at home when it comes down to a map like Expo, when you have so many different alleyways and fixtures that he can manipulate.
I was just about to say, it's one of those things that his play style really does feel like it's going to go like peanut butter and jelly here on this map. So we'll see if that can actually come through. Otherwise, for New York, it's just going to be kind of a learning, educational moment for us as they start on the offense. Early eyes towards getting on in towards the meeting hall and getting some progress done over towards B. And wouldn't you know it, is Standy that is the one trusted to defend this. KiSMET stun will land, and Standy will not have a chance to take the gunfight. New York looking good for the first tick of progress already here at B.
Oh no. Contempt. I mean, he's actually in a position to be able to at least find 2, but you still have players that are lurking around this B control zone. KiSMET's still trying to work up that segment of progression. The first one just about to be locked back up. I mean, all off the trades, New York don't exactly have a lot of space covered around the backside of this zone.
Yeah, looking like this is going to be a second tick for sure. TJ thinking about the challenge, though, and with the pinch from Clayster, that will lead to an opportunity for Vegas to actually get this retake on the way. Long-range shots, well powered by Clayster. Priestahh will drop, and with that, New York will be empty from a chance to continue to play over towards B. So off spawn, it's all about making sure you don't get trapped and maybe start to get some work done over towards the A site. But once again, Vegas is in position waiting for this.
It's a great trap to set up for yourself. Standy's going to be lurking around diner halls. TJ's looking to at least keep that pinch in for effect. 2 kills come through for Vegas, and map positioning will remain pristine. Skyz is really the only person that can really get behind enemy lines, but you got to be careful that the rest of your teammates don't get caught in a spawn trap.
This is all taking time, too, by the way. TJ only getting 1, though, so a 4-for-1 exchange leading to the Subliners getting out of spawn and actually allowing HyDra to get over towards the B zone. But he doesn't commit to actually looking for the extra 60 seconds immediately. Instead, wants to play for kills forward, while the rest of their teammates are just kind of focused on trying to get A. This is a bold call for New York, but the kills do allow them a chance to continue to kind of keep playing for it. Nice shots from Temp. Leads to a chance for a contest to come through just as the first tick is locked. KiSMET with the first turning, expecting Temp on the cross, but not able to quite get the regen in time to take a healthy gunfight. And with that, now New York are kind of up a creek without a paddle. They just don't have much space to work with. TJ's watching players moving on in towards the protection room, but I don't know. This is one of those that just feels a little desperate in nature from New York, and as Las Vegas continue to find a way to get the kills, it's really just on to HyDra to make this final play, and as he's turned away, Priestahh looking to touch for something dramatic at the A zone, and if TJ gets dropped, actually hold on, a chance for maybe a stack to come through.
Yep, Priestahh's going to be able to stay alive. You have no Vegas players inside of Diner. So the majority of this hit is actually going to be coming through the globe hallways. Player number 6 is going to be Standy. He pushes up, zone contested.
New York still holding off the backside. Long range shots from Clayster, deals with KiSMET. Priestahh on the inside, about to be tested by this Vegas defense, and there's the kills needed. Wow, it definitely felt like New York just were kind of caught for a moment there, maybe trying to get a little bit too cute playing between both the two zones at the same time.
Desperate times are going to call for desperate measures when you're down to 20 seconds here on Expo for control, and realistically, you're going to spawn immediately parallel over towards the B zone. You're just going to be funneling yourself through these very narrow choke points in towards the waiting hands of both Standy and Temp inside of said projector room. But I mean, it was almost just a flawless break through the opening break, excuse me, out from New York. They, again, just could not find any positioning to get past backstage, to get through the middle of the map, to deny Vegas to recontest the B zone as quickly as they did.
Here we go. What does New York have for us on the defense? 3-1 split. A lot of focus over towards B early. Temp up top taking his time on 4. There's kill number 5. Great start from Temp. And as TJ takes down Priestahh back behind the backstage, that leads to a chance now for Vegas to control mid-map and also stop the clock at a minute 17 seconds.
And they're expecting a pinch to come around from top glow, but it's not going to be the case at all. Vegas have a really good setup, and they're also having Temp top glass to at least watch the entrance that is going to be their flank. They're finding transitional gunfights as well, Al, and they're going to leave TJ behind over by the B zone. Mid-map's going to be contested by KiSMET, and they're going to try to win the battle on 2 different fronts, with Standy still alive down here.
Yeah, really great off the break here from Vegas. Number of players getting close to score streaks, or of course Temp being able to earn it. TJ still on the zone, going to get this 3rd tick of progress. Clayster just wants to make sure there is no contest for it. So an extra 60 seconds very early added on. 2 minutes, 13 seconds to play in. Vegas are looking to take away the defensive side of the map.
Everything that we've been talking about with Standy, how his play style, that's tough for KiSMET, or for Clayster, excuse me. But just as soon as we were talking about Standy, how his playstyle actually really kind of panders to the map that is Expo, you feel like that HyDra should be feeling right at home as well. He's double -4 and 8, and I'm feeling maybe his boots are stuck inside of the snow. Elsewhere, Standy's still creating a little bit of chaos down here over by the lounge. Bites off more than he can chew, tries to help out his teammates, maybe try to get past these bar steps. Yeah. But New York have a commanding pace in the middle of the map right now. Great positioning is being held.
And you can see KiSMET on the minimap is still looking for TJ. They know that he's missing. Just comes down to where is he missing. TJ says, I'm just going to go back over towards A. No need to get too cute, because the problem is HyDra, number 4 in yellow, is just reaping kills off of respawn right now, putting Vegas in a little bit of a blender here from their offensive side. And as TJ is eventually sniffed out, everything will kind of reset just a touch here. Vegas trying to desperately get on, pull the defense to actually respond to this A hit. And with the eliminations, this will actually offer an opportunity for Vegas to just completely overwhelm New York's defense. It's a huge stack, 3 members large on towards A. New York scrambling, just trying to get out of spawn to see if they can even contest this zone in any form. And HyDra walks in and gets a double. KiSMET follows up, and that's going to be just a back and forth set of team wipes for either team. New York right back in control defensively.
Cam's just invested the cruise missile. That cruise missile is now off the cards for Vegas. They really thought that that was about to be the end-all be-all, but they only just need 1 segment. They got just under a minute left to do it. Live's just about even. 12 plays up against 13, but Vegas back to square one. You got to clear all these power positions away.
To an 11v11 we go. 45 seconds on the clock. Vegas not going to be held in spawn, but they're looking to play around the fact this is going to take time, and they do not have much of it. KiSMET lives on 1 HP, traded by Temp just from behind, as Vegas continue to try to play around the map. Not quite just diving on in towards A, looking for controlled windows, and they're going to get it. Last player standing was Skyz, in a position to try to contest through Sauna. Now all of a sudden Vegas on. Standy will stop the clock at 27 seconds. New York once again need a clean break, but do they even have the time to get here? No, they do not. And yeah, Clayster still feeling good about his respawn performance so far.
I don't know how, why wouldn't you if you are Clayster? Again, coming in at least for control. Clayster 3 times playing against the New York Subliners, so sitting at a 0.65 in control. He is looking very, very good in championship form, might I add, for Clay when it matters the most, and it's something you can rally behind now that Vegas have a 2-0 lead here in the Expo control. We knew that it was going to be tough for New York. Not a whole lot of VOD to go off of, quite candidly, but the way the way that Vegas were just able to transition to the middle of the map, just clear diner, clear lounge as fast as they did. It just completely uprooted from New York for any sort of control through the middle of the map very quickly.
Vegas up 2-0. You already mentioned the cruise missile had been spent. 2-2 split here defensively as well for the Legion. TJ catches HyDra with a knife out. Skyz will get the trade, but ultimately Vegas are going to feel the better of this break-off. Standy tagged, caught an eye onto Skyz, but it's Temp who beats him to the kill, and New York will find absolutely nothing in the first 30 seconds of this 3rd round.
Oh, man. 16 and 13, now 17-4 spree for Clay. He's the guardian of the B control zone. You will not get past him. And that allows TJ to bump out from the positioning as well. Just letting them have it. Tough gunfight versus HyDra will get the better of him. Now New York are all spawning parallel over by the B zone. And again, right into the waiting hands of Clayster. Kill number 6. Give him number 7. Clay is reaping over on this zone.
Goodness gracious. Clayster coming hot. 26 plays 20, 35 seconds on the clock, and well, we're starting to get some convincing answers to our question. What was New York going to be able to offer on this expo? And well, maybe a little early, but it's may just very well come down to a nothing. Not giving us anything against this Legion squad as Clayster's streak finally comes to an end. 18 seconds on the clock. TJ just avoids line of sight. Cleans up 2 long-range shots to Priestahh. Immaculate. And then has HyDra low HP, but loses out due to the fact that he just ran out of ammunition. May not matter in the end, though. New York, not a chance to touch towards B. Skyz, maybe with that gunfight, can get on. As once more, New York just kind of have to desperately play for both zones at the same time. 2.4 seconds, all they have left.
And they got players over by the A control zone, but again, nobody's in a position to try to get closer towards Lounge. But they have the centering. They know that Sandy's going to be top bar. That's going to be the biggest problem. 2.4 seconds left on the clock. Second segment confirmed.
HyDra does get taken down by the cruise missile. Standy trying to work his way into contest, but he did not have a lot of help here, so hold on a second. New York are going to get the extra 60 seconds. Problem about this is you have 10 lives left, which means for Vegas, you can either kill off those last 10 lives or the 55 seconds that remain, whichever is more convenient. TJ, Temp, finding a couple of key eliminations. Any trade is a good trade right now if you're Legion.
Yep, just got to be playing the trade game. Like you said there, Alan, double the amount of lives over New York's heads here in a must-needed offensive round to keep themselves in this map number 3. You can't afford to go down too quickly if you are New York, but you also can't afford just to continuously slice the door. Skyz still able to get the regen. No, hope reset the gunfight.
TJ, though, keeps him at arm's reach. Meanwhile, around the back, Priestahh trying to work his way in at the 9. Skyz, oh, can't see him. The smoke of the Semtex just conceals TJ in the corner. And now it's last lives for the Subliners. 15 seconds on the clock. Stun will give away some information. The utility will keep HyDra away from the zone completely. And then the subs for Legion just clean up on aisle 4. How about the Las Vegas Legion? Last chance, it's KiSMET. Gets the first. TJ off reload, can't get the trade. This would be a miracle and none will happen. This time, just some very solid smiles out of Clayster and the rest of the Vegas Legion as they 3-0 Expo control.
It's just strictly business on the faces of the Vegas Legion. New York, a lot of splaining to do as far as this Expo is concerned. Again, the first time that we're seeing it, so very early days as far as we are concerned for New York. But man, the Vegas just look in firm control. They never lost it. I mean, for 2 different times, they've played a hotel versus New York, lost them both times. They played an LCO, lost that as well. Yeah, just give Vegas Expo every single time. I think we know what people are going to be looking to veto when it comes down to control versus this Legion roster. 24-18 from Clayster, again, putting on another Herculean performance. The same of what we saw from that Fortress Hardpoint map number 1 for Clay with 2,700 damage to boot. TJ was also right there as well. The 24-14 with 2,500 damage. It just always felt like the ham and egg that was Clay and TJ. Just never allowed New York Subliners to continuously dictate the pace in the middle of the map.
Dude, the non-traded kill percentage across the board for Vegas in this map, unbelievable. I think Clay had 20 of his 24 non-traded. Give me a break.
Casual.
I mean, the respawn stats in general so far through the opening hardpoint and this control are going to look immaculate for Vegas comparatively, especially in the head-to-head history between these two teams. I mean, just looking at the overalls going into this series, it's just like Vegas have not put up a fight against New York up until right here, right now. And again, just to kind of speak to the Subliner side, there is a little bit of this map flexibility, trying to be more fluid across the board and different controls, things like that. But ultimately, you have to walk away pretty impressed with Vegas, what they're doing, especially considering that their backs are kind of up against the wall here points-wise.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is a much-needed series. When you heard Pocket talk about it on the desk for Vegas, you win this series, you stay alive for potential contention going in towards champs. If New York win this, they confirm their trip to champs. So a lot more riding on this for Vegas. Again, they kind of squandered that win versus OpTic yesterday, who more or less were trying to do the same thing. They are not playing with their food here, barring maybe some round 11 unfortunates in the past 3 for Vegas. Regardless, the respawns looking good for Vegas Legion as they set themselves up for a HyDra map number 4.
tough ask, I think, just across, like, where does Vegas want to play their hard points? Not really a good answer anywhere. But
Yeah.
the thing about it is, if they can continue to find kill participation like this, with Clay nearly inching towards 2.0 KDs every single time, and then you've got, you know, Standy in the first map was great. TJ here in the second was unbelievable, obviously, the 1.7. But if you can just find that same level of consistency across one of your ARs and one of your subs, going into a HyDra hardpoint where their average point differential is just -4, I think you feel pretty decent about your chances of walking away with this series in 4. And I think the biggest thing, too, about this is the fact that it's not just Clayster. Temp has also played super, super solid, and that's the first time that we have a chance to really say that in this particular head-to-head.
I mean, we got to talk about just the elephant in the room for Temp. Even you heard just this morning, if you turn on the timeline, you heard Ant talk about it on the desk. Both Study and Nameless talk to Temp, and it's been a real stylistic, unfortunate disaster as far as Temp is concerned. This is his stats as far as what's compared versus New York versus everybody else. And you just almost feel like that Temp gets nervous versus New York, the way that some of these stats end up looking. But it's a real stylistic difference, a little bit of a wake-up. Maybe for Temp, the way that both Priestahh and Skyz approach the AR matchup versus both Temp and Clayster. But in this series alone, he is coming out with a certain amount of heat, definitely leaning towards that versus others rather than what we're seeing versus New York in the past.
Clayster still fired up. Temp has played just as good as you could ever expect him to, in an effort where Vegas need a win to keep the gap tight between them and the top 8, trying to get to champs. There is the head-to-head record. New York has been great here, of course. I mean, their hard point really has been pretty darn solid across the board. But ultimately, this is not a bad map for Vegas. And it does ultimately lend us to also mention the fact that this was Vegas's selection for the hard point. Can they get it done here in 4, trying to avoid a hotel search, which is waiting for us if we need a 5th?
Yeah, again, Vegas' map pick for map number 4 here. They were able to take New York's map pick there, Fortress map number 1. But, I mean, you saw there in the stats, Vegas, I mean, you better hope that you get to the rotation first because they are 8th overall in CDL for breaking hills here on HyDra Electric. This series very much so could end here in this map number 4. Let's get it on.
Vegas looking to actually make an early route with Standy hitting around the backside of Ruins. The rest of New York, though, on screen is in a really solid position to win the gunfights over the top of the bridge, turn that into what was hopefully maybe a little bit more early time. Skyz was waiting for TJ to float back up. And, well, the timing of this, well, okay, TJ's going to walk away with 2, I was going to say. Not necessarily exquisite for TJ, but he's the one that gets the double. Priestahh has to turn tail and run for a moment. But ultimately, New York hold the preferred side of the map, and now with 15 seconds of scrap, have a chance to start earning some time.
Big kill here for KiSMET and Priestahh to be able to find some good shots. Negate further middle of the map positioning. KiSMET's going to shotgun Temp before you can even get through Ruins. And yeah, this is a great opening rip for New York. Say what you will about the time. Most importantly, they make sure that nobody can slip past the middle of the map. TJ does have his flippies on, though. He's trying to at least get behind enemy lines, but it should be looked at here for KiSMET in a few seconds.
He needs to find this kill, though, because this position from TJ could block spawns if Las Vegas start finding kills from the front. And yeah, KiSMET very aware. There he goes. Tracks down TJ. Big win. Now for Vegas. Have to essentially break this right down middle. Clayster's actually way out of bounds here, so to speak. I mean, he's not even close to hitting over through Dome, and New York is going to benefit this with 30 seconds of essentially free time.
Again, New York, 6-2 on HyDra. They are 2nd out of 12 teams in the CDL, 75% hold percentage when they are the first ones inside the hardpoint, and I think this P2 is kind of explaining why. TJ's still trying to give a good old tussle for the old time there versus HyDra. Man. Spawns will flip at the utmost unfortunate time. New York playing for the future, already cut past the middle of the map. You can take those 7 seconds if you want, Vegas. New York have the rotation to nuke.
This is just sheer perfection in terms of setup from the New York Subliners. An absolute masterclass so far of how to stretch the map and force Vegas to be in the worst possible positions at all times. TJ trying to change that, working all the way around the backside of control, and his teammates will spawn with him. Temp still trying to exit, will not be a part of this play at the moment, but Vegas starts to find some crucial kills. HyDra, oh my goodness, what a start for him. The Semtex collects 1, goes to the drop shot for another, then off regen, TJ has no contest. HyDra looking fierce to start off to a 12-1 go.
Not exactly an easy map to find a lot of value with when it comes down to HyDra's playstyle, but he is making it work. Positive 12-4. Goodness me. Spawn's a flip, but I mean, if you can tell by the canter of my voice, I don't even know if Vegas want to be back here. It could potentially be a spawn trap, but TJ will at least find 2, inevitably traded by Priestahh, who tries to shift his focus back over towards the spawn trap. Player number 6 is Standy, actually cut through the middle of the map. That'll force a north to south spawn to occur on the west side of the map, but the rotation towards B4 has more yellow members than white there on the minimap.
Yeah, 3 and 17 combined start for Temp and Standy. Have to have something from those two if you want to try to turn the trends around, because at the moment New York is just dominating in every fashion. Placer up top does at least hold on to dome position. That could be used as a pivot point for Vegas to try to either cut through mid or just use Placer as a lockdown tool while everyone else hits through ruins. And the play call seems to be the latter. Try to hit through ruins. Priestahh, solid read on this. Almost gets the line up, getting into a killing spree. But ultimately, Vegas has a chance with these kills to still try to threaten the back 30 seconds. Here's the contest. KiSMET gets good help from Skyz. And oh boy, just when you start to think Vegas has a chance to see the hard point, it's ultimately pushed against them. And New York get to over 100 points early.
It's very individualistic, but it's almost forced by New York's hand, the way that Vegas are forced to try to break for the back 30 seconds or so. I mean, TJ has to try to challenge something. He had some semblance of assistance from Placer in the AR over by Dome, but it's not enough to fully flood into the break the setup that New York have been suggesting through the entirety of the first set. HyDra still finding kills to the middle of the map. Yeah, Vegas, you might be inside the Jenny new hard point for now, but New York looking to break quickly.
You barely, it's just TJ, the only one who's actually here. Standy and Temp now a combined 5 and 24. They do pick up a couple of kills around the back, though, so Vegas will kind of stabilize with hopefully still holding on to the proximal spawns. But problem is, New York is pinching around both sides, leaving Standy by himself. Placer does still spawn behind, but he is a mile away. So Standy has to get some work done, and ultimately he does get traded out by HyDra. Placer up top trying to contest. Pinstripe goes the kill feed, 1v1 for the time. Skyz goes the drop shot. But Clay does take a chance for the dub. 23 seconds to play. Vegas, they need this time, and they need it badly, and that last gunfight will secure it.
Every single second is going to feel like a drop of water in the middle of the Sahara Desert if you are Vegas at this point in time. I mean, what a great first set coming through from New York, just completely negating any presence throughout the entirety of the map. It started over by P1, and it continued all the way over towards the end of P5, where Vegas finally get themselves on the board. I'm sure it's all cool, calm, collective with New York with a double amount of point score over Vegas Legion. But let's hear how the comms sound with the New York. Listen in.
Watch out, mid cut.
Okay, I killed him. Okay, counterblock.
Get time, I'm blocking. You're good.
Alright.
I'm gonna come.
Every window. Yeah, I got my low.
Yo, CJ, you look, you might want to hold
They
left.
can go my left.
Yeah, hold it. I have your top window.
He's already low left. He's arches.
Cross water, dead.
Mid cover right now. He might be through. Mid cover pushing through behind you.
One shot. Mid, top red.
One was left, guys.
Stop it. We're good.
Alright, we're good. I'm counterblocking him.
Oh my fucking god.
I got left.
One more bottom.
I'll bump the hill. Plus, you keep frying, bro.
Yeah, bottom, dead.
Keep frying, bro. You're good.
I'm gonna come.
I have my window. Look my low. I have my window, Preston.
What's left? Arches. Shot me. Say, procedure. Maybe get out. Yeah, they're gonna be on you. Play the first guy left. Nice. I still know for you.
Mid hut P1.
You're rooking, alright.
There's 2 P1. I'm not even controlling. They're both right. Last guy level 2.
I got no time.
Mid hut. I have time.
Okay.
I'm near your top dome.
One is P1 on you, right?
He's nated P1. Nice.
One more shot.
One's
Arches. Arches in mid shed.
Yo, can you get help from the back? Mid shed.
Alright.
Tony's dome.
Bro,
I'm on your close up.
I'm hitting the back, bro.
Yeah, that's one of the back. We got mobile.
I have the whole book. I have your dome cross.
I have your water hop.
You on water? Yeah.
My back door. Oh shit, he's on dome.
Top dome, dead.
Nice pressing. Good shit.
Front
door. One shot, Standy. Absolute time.
Dead.
Nice. Top dome.
I got time. No, I killed him.
Back with P1 water.
Dead.
Nice. I'm taking a route.
What a freaking map from Priestahh. If it moves, it dies right now. He's on 5-24 in 7. Talk about a bounce back hard point after his 13 and 27.48 KD on Fortress. New York dominating.
I think that's certainly one word that you could use. 24 and 8 for Priestahh, 23 and 13 for HyDra. He's going to call in that cruise missile. And that is just going to be so damning when you're looking at it from Vegas' perspective. Placer doesn't have a trophy system, can't keep himself over by the God Rock. Vegas might have themselves inside of P3, and they're actually proactively looking towards the back. New York responding in.
Oh, and HyDra just taking gunfights at mid-range without any concern whatsoever. Oh my goodness. Wow. It's all subliners. Everywhere you look, it's all yellow. New York looking to put this one away quickly. Get him to a map 5 is what they want. TJ turned away. Priestahh just holding the front line with the AR, just finessing, but ultimately not able to take more than just the first. Skyz now next one up, and he's good for the double. New York stay in the hill. It's just chef's kiss everywhere you look. Last players are Vegas. You feel like you have to challenge the time, but at the moment, it's all New York.
I just don't even know what to say at this point. I mean, Vegas have been somehow scrapping away with getting maybe 12, 15 seconds here or there of initial time. And then New York break them up. They get some scrap time, all of like 5 seconds, and New York already have the rotation towards New, and it's the latter of the two this time around. Again, New York have the rotation towards 4. Vegas might have a couple players that could threaten maybe a gunfight or two, but middle of the map, again, it is all New York.
Just so much control. Everywhere Vegas try to go, they're being contested. And now, getting isolated is TJ. Oh, at some point, you just start to tap out. Mercy, mercy. KiSMET denied. Standy, chance now with a couple of kills for Vegas to work their way on, but boy, they need a lot of things to go perfect if they even want to have a chance at us even talking about a comeback.
As someone throwing the white towel almost on. Man, this is brutal. 14 seconds still left to fight over, and New York are just going to continuously put daggers into the side of Vegas, continuously put nails in the coffin that is this map 4. New York want a map 5. They are barely losing gunfights right now, Alan. I mean, Skyz, he's only got 28 engagements. So easy to do, and HyDra's 31 and 16, Priestahh 29 and 11. Again, Vegas in for the initial time. New York looking to break.
Dude, just, okay, come on.
Send it.
Yep, I'd say so. I was just about to say, I mean, we talked about the average score differentials. Maybe this was one of Vegas's better hard points. Maybe not. New York, I mean, giggles all around. Are you kidding me?
PU, what just happened in that map number 4? You can see a little cheeky smile from HyDra. You can try to hide from that camera. We see you, Paco, having yourself a good time there in that map number 4. Early days especially, and then Priestahh just feasted off the top of it as well. We are going to a map number 5. New York are forcing it out from the Vegas Legion, who again desperately need this win, and they barely even showed up in the kill department when it came down to this HyDra. I mean, the only player that was really leading anything, I mean, Clayster 18-26, almost 3K damage. Nobody had 2K damage at all for Vegas. On the other side, New York were absolutely feasting. It felt like they were frolicking throughout the entirety of Zarqwa Hydroelectric, if that's even a destination to do that at. But 31 and 12 for Priestahh with 3,500 damage. Like, come on! This guy was everywhere.
Yeah. Are you kidding? Wow. That is as convincing as we've seen in a long time there, friends. So with that, we quickly transitioned to a hotel search and destroy. Lots on the line here, more so maybe for Vegas than for New York. We already talked about this as maybe just a map fluency test for the side of the Subliners, but still a win locks them in for champs. Otherwise, for Vegas, need to have it to keep the gap tight and try to find your way into that 8th position. We'll send things away to a quick break. When we come back, it's map number 5 between the Las Vegas Legion and the New York Subliners on the backside of the break.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL. Look like the pros, play like the pros with the new CDL team packs. We've got it all. Home and away, male and female versions, weapon camos, emblems, and calling cards for your favorite squads. And stay in the loop by signing up for the Call of Duty League newsletter. Keep up with breaking news, event discounts, and more. Scan the QR code on screen for more information.
Welcome back there, friends and family, as we have a Map 5 affair. Vegas need it badly, but Priestahh other ideas in mind after a Map 4 that is, well, one that Vegas I'm sure is going to want to quickly forget because Priestahh was just having it his way.
Yeah, that boy's huge on the map right now. I mean, barring the map number 3, not everybody from New York had a fantastic time on that map, but we'll wipe the slate clean because Priestahh, between the maps 2 and 4, one of the main catalysts reasoning why Vegas just damn near got a 100-point club. Well, they did, actually. It just was brutal. I'm sure Vegas are going to forget about this ahead of this map number 5, but you're going to need it here if you are Vegas. It needs to be said. They have lost 5 out of the 6 search and destroys in recency, even in the past 24 hours, Alan. Last 3 search and destroys all went around 11, and they lost all 3 of them.
Gotta have it. But Priestahh, map number 2 was also, like you mentioned, his step-up game after a disappointing first map. Went 12-7. He clutched up a couple of different times for his team. Even found himself an ace in one of the rounds on Mercado. But Hotel, a different story. Vegas need every single point. But New York looking for that lock-in for champs. Here we go. New York on the opening offense. HyDra working alongside Priestahh to try to put some influence over for the defenders at B. But ultimately, Vegas feeling pretty good about this setup at the moment with a long play from Temp watching mid-windows with a sniper rifle, and he's seen Priestahh, and I think that information's now mutual.
It sure is. Priestahh, you shooting different right now, but be careful with that. I was about to throw his whole entire body out there. Elsewhere, though, Sandy's looking to get proactive, especially through the cat room. HyDra's going to hold his line. He actually has dead silence available, just looking to at least play this corner.
Oh, huge, though. Clay on the corner takes down the bomb carrier for KiSMET. Temp does get pushed off the angle, but the defense is starting to rotate over. And in the meantime, Standy does take care of the lurker of HyDra. Oh, and then the frag just lands in Skyz' back pocket. So now it's just down to Priestahh, 1v4. 33 seconds, no bomb. And as I think the candor of my voice starts to fall off, I think so do the chances of Priestahh locking this one in. Clean first set of shots, but Clayster just playing around the mid box. No worries there. Vegas take the opener.
I wasn't ready to count Priestahh out of that. See some dirty things from him in that Mercado map number 2, but
yeah, fair.
Yeah, it just completely eviscerates Temp up top lights. But Clay, the vet, down low on the display case. Yep. Very tough one for Priestahh to try to clutch up, especially with such little time. And you felt like that HyDra was trying to at least make that push happen. He was trying to uproot Standy, who was over inside of the cat room, leading inside a kitchen. Could have been a massive pinch and would have caused a lot of distress for Vegas as far as their backline is concerned. They hold the line, wait for the over-aggression to come through. Vegas take map one, round 1. Yeah.
That's huge from Vegas, just trusting the setup, not panicking after a beatdown in map number 4. This time, 3-1 split. Standy looking to get aggressive in towards restaurant. He's got 3 different subliners nearby. The only one really contesting the 8 zone is Skyz, but the problem is Standy does get kind of isolated and taken down. Bomb still being planted, though. Lots of information from Standy, even though he did drop. Leads to this plant and a 3v4 post plant. That also sees TJ topping towards bedroom. Clay to join him as he just barely survives on the cross.
Got TJ down low, just playing in these very tight angles, looking at the bomb. Temps holding at least the long flank. The rest of New York all trying to funnel through the middle of the map into the waiting arms of TJ.
I like this. Trust that Clay and TJ can get a lot of the post-plant work done. Don't use Tep unless you absolutely need him. And as he makes his play known, it's now just once again down to Priestahh. Not gonna happen. TJ locks it up, and how about Legion in the face of a 3v4? I think you got to give a lot of credit to Standy saying, yo, there's at least 2 on me. Take the plant.
Yep. That's, again, you know, the certain amount of hesitation or misjudgment calls, even on Hotel in recency for Vegas, has come back to bite them in the rear end. But so far, so good. Again, just trusting the setup that we saw there on their defense, and even more so, just trusting the call, getting the bomb planted, Clay getting up inside top bedroom, TJ having it as well, just to at least read and recognize that nobody was coming on the flank because Temp was watching it yesterday. Vegas take a 2-0 lead.
Heavy defensive stack here for Vegas in towards mid-map. Standy playing on the cross. Clayster just outside through sofa. Subliners looking to get forward and towards A, and oh my goodness, HyDra is pushed so far, so fast. Dead silence is a part of the play. But can he track down Temp? Yeah, just before Temp starts to rotate back over towards mid, and all of a sudden Vegas have a huge problem on this A site as Clayster not quite able to lock down the mid cross, but the nades do deter the plant for now.
Clay's still on that head glitch over by the fountain. It's going to be the next call, especially for HyDra to try to get into position and maybe try to deal with him. Priestahh is going to push up over inside a statue. Tough head glitch for Standy to try to challenge.
Yeah. This contact is everything. Standy wins this gunfight. Vegas have a chance in the retake, but it's a very, very tough battle. Priestahh, once again, just popping it up. Standy sees it. TJ comes to assist, though. That's the middle of the map now cleared. Skyz has to watch two things at once, and very wisely turns to find Standy just before the hit was on. TJ, considering the same play. Semtex out. Skyz sees the left arm of the throw, and that's enough for Skyz to take his second and leave Clay down to a 1v3. Not a lot of time for him to do much here, especially as a trophy player. He will take down KiSMET and have a look at Skyz, but the clock is the biggest enemy here, and New York will use that as their way to get their first round on the board.
Yeah, what was going to be Skyz over at the bar was certainly going to be HyDra down low in bottom bed, but man, I mean, just the ferocity that HyDra came out of that round, dead silence included, just fully sprinted up through lights. I'm sure Temp had to have been asking there in the comments, like, how the hell did he even get there? And just popped dead silence, ran up straight through top luggage stairs, and he was behind enemy lines. Scot-free almost. I don't think that anybody, Clayster, was in that position over by the fountain. Nobody over by the cuts that leads towards restaurant was in a position to at least watch that cross happen. HyDra just making all of Vegas feel rather trapped on their side of the map. Gets New York on the board.
Vegas looking for a three-man stack in towards Rugs. Trophy system to enforce this play over towards Arches. But New York have already kind of taken an aggressive stance of their own. Quick hit from HyDra. Oh boy, and he gets two. No trades to be found, and well, round number 4 is going to come to a pretty swift and convincing close unless Temp can do something here stuck at mid-map.
HyDra's going to hold the angle. Knows that the challenge has to come through. It's 2 New York players down yonder, and HyDra again. Fast, aggressive hit. Has some assistance coming through the double arches, and we get to see that once again. Look, if it's not Skyz, who has a 56.2% first blood win percentage, it's got to be HyDra just making such annoying plays like this. I mean, TJ barely even had the time to react. And even if HyDra goes down right there, the trade was going to be immediately followed. Just New York just making Hotel just feel so small the way that HyDra is just cutting so many different avenues out early.
You want to talk about how bold that hit actually is? New York hit that without throwing any nades, so the trophy system that's down doesn't automatically give you some sort of a clue that a hit is on the way because no stuns or Semtexes were tossed. HyDra quick to try to get on the way towards top bedroom, but TJ, a little stack with some team shots, allows him first blood, and New York will leave A with some designs towards this B site, which Vegas are here, and they are ready for this hit.
What a good response, but the first point of contact, KiSMET just swings it wide. Priestahh next up to bat in Vegas with the response off the first blood from TJ. Didn't see anybody else. Skyz, 1v3.
Yeah, now his position is known. Dead silence not ready yet, but with 50 seconds on the clock, he will earn it likely eventually, especially if he can find this first kill in the corner. But no, just trying to find some sort of visual on anybody from Vegas, but not allow an opportunity for a gunfight. And the Legion respond with a very convincing round of their own.
It kind of feels like shades of Mercado, isn't it? Where like HyDra just recognized, okay, I can get away with this. Maybe I can try it again for the upcoming offense. He tries to go for the swan dive across top luggage stairs, and this time it's TJ watching it along with Clayster. Like you said, the team shots there did not allow HyDra to get top luggage again. And then from there on out, it was just the response. No more nades, no chows came out over by the A-bomb site, so you just got to rotate accordingly. Set yourself up inside a kitchen. Great reactions coming up from Vegas with a 1-round lead yet again.
New York once again going to go over towards this very similar defensive setup. KiSMET over towards B as the sole defender. Skyz watching the cross in through mid. But the difference is HyDra is going to be playing kind of alongside Priestah's angle. And TJ, oh no, can't quite get away. Was tagged up from a multitude of different forces of damage. HyDra's the one to get the kill, but Clayster does shrug off Skyz from the mid angle. Maybe still a chance for Vegas to still consider this A site, but they want to maybe feel things out a little bit further towards this mid couch's position.
if they want to try to push over towards B. It's all going to rely on Standy. Clayster tried getting inside bottom bedroom. Temp didn't even have an angle to try to assist him. And the moment that Standy tries to come help out through the middle of the map, everybody falls flat. Proper reaction coming out from HyDra right there. I totally agree. I mean, all off the first blood, it's just individual gunfight after individual gunfight. You're forced to make a play happen if you are New York in that point in time. And this is why HyDra had such a reaction right there. Versus an AR at that range, HyDra's just shooting pretty damn crispy in this map number 5. I'll even things up once again.
The curveballs that we're seeing from New York in previous rounds defensively are keeping Vegas away from being able to fully hit something right off the go. So when you get this back and forth of New York full stacking through mid, charging you at archways, and then the next defense, wait a second, no one's pushing anywhere. Vegas just don't have the ability to get the map control early. HyDra, very similarly, going to make his play right across. This time he does survive. Clayster, though, still tallies first blood, plus one more behind it. HyDra would need to double up here. He does get away from the second contestant and then flies his way back to bottom bar. This leads to a 2v2.
How does HyDra able to get himself inside of info just so scot-free? I mean, the one thing working for Vegas is that Clay found that first blood plus an extra. But now you're forced to try to deny more map away for some information, and Clay gets caught mid-tack sprint. The bomb's now in a recoverable position for Priestahh. TJ in 1v2.
And he's got a fast enough at range. You don't love this, but of course, the question mark on where is HyDra? Keep TJ from playing over towards bedroom side. Priestahh thought about the plant, backed off. TJ's damage decent. A little cheeky jump up from Priestahh, trying to at least get some damage into play. TJ looking for the tack, gets it, backs away. 30 seconds on the clock. Priestahh back on for the plant. Regen in for TJ. Does he get the exit? Does he get the toe tags? He stops him from planting. 1v1 now with HyDra, who collects the bomb, but does not play for the immediate plant. Just literally laying on top of Priestah's dead body. Here comes TJ. The check. Shots decent. HyDra stays alive, but no, can't quite find the gunfight, and TJ clutches a 1v2.
You can always count on TJ showing up in the search and destroy. Everybody popping off for TJ there. You saw Temp and Standy just gassing it up, even in the cameras. That is just so wonderfully played right there. And I honestly felt like that HyDra was about to immediately collect and immediately plant. Would probably put himself in a really good condition to try to win out that round. But TJ just does not budge. He doesn't try to rewrap through statue, which HyDra was expecting the challenge to come through the waterfall side. Doesn't happen. And TJ just playing along with the clock, checks it at the utmost perfect time. Catches HyDra mid-plant attempt. Vegas with a 1-round lead once more.
And this time, Vegas wasting no time whatsoever. Same defensive setup for New York again. HyDra, good first blood. Semtex out, and this is the problem with just trying to rush into A when New York have this type of a setup. Clean kills lead us to a very early 3v2 for New York.
Bombs collected. TJ's on the site. He's trying to plant it. Priestahh didn't see him. He's covered by the display case. Skyz, the wallbang shots through the door of luggage. Not going to collect any damage on the TJ. Bomb laid down.
TJ's thinking about making the cross. Was he scouted? Priestahh was on rotation. He may not have seen TJ. But New York, it's all about trying to clear out this player in the back. Problem is, now TJ's position is known, and New York's gonna have to go quickly. Dead silence about to expire. Temp pops up, finds the kill into KiSMET. Priestahh for the 1v2. Coming quickly, no! Temp catches him on the backside staircase. Denies the attempt for a clutch. And now Vegas take a demanding lead.
You want to close this out here. If you're Vegas, you don't want to try to maybe swim around 11. And when TJ's playing like this, his decision-making on point. His shot is looking crisp. The trust that Temp can hold down the back display case there at P4 is just so good. And it's like you even asked, with that time of dead silence being popped, TJ diving across to the top luggage stairs. He catches Skyz by surprise because Priestahh gave up the angle quite some time ago as they try to rewrap around the back. Series point for Vegas.
And 10 crucial points on the leaderboards at hand. New York feeling things out. Clayster, first blood. Temp still scouting over to the top side of bars. Skyz trade does alert that Temp very well could get into a long-range gunfight. But Standy, how about this play? At just 1 and 7, he's looking to go really quickly to clear out this position, but no, he misses out on the chance of the opening gunfight. Skyz stays alive. Trophy system keeps him safe from Clayster's utility. And just like that, New York bring it to a 3v2 in their name.
And you're forced to play isolated now. If you are Clayster and Temp, Temp has to go pick up the middle of the map to try to deny the wrap over towards B because the bomb has not been planted at A yet. Clayster has to be careful if he tries to swing wide. There's a lot of ARs looking at this top bad position.
This is all about timing. Temp trying to get around the back. Clay, just misses out on a chance at Priestahh, so now it falls on the Temp on 4 in a row. Looks down, sees another tag. He was hoping for a Vaznev. But for a 1v3, no dead silence in total. And the 10 crucial leaderboard points. Can Temp find a way to isolate? Does see Skyz, topside bar. The question, though, is where is Priestahh come to? Temp on the move. Skyz throwing shoulders. Temp has seen this. Couple of shots trying to bait Priestahh out, but man, he's just not taking the bait at all. Very wisely holding his ground. 15 seconds. Temp has to make the play. And it looks like he very well just may concede the round in favor of holding the 4 streak.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely the right call. I mean, if you are Vegas, right, you have this 2-round lead, will be diminished, of course, to 1. But, I mean, if you can get a cruise missile on a map like Hotel, we've seen how deadly it is. Hardpoint control, search and destroy. The splash damage can find a lot of value when it comes down post plant or retaking over there by lights. But it's a gamble. Again, it all mostly comes down to the unfortunate disaster of Standy not finishing his food. I mean, he had Skyz dead to rights on that Godheady.
Yeah.
Just unable to get that last bullet, even a half a bullet. I think a cold breeze would have taken Skyz out of that round. Would have forced out at least a 2v2 ARs on both sides, but not going to be the case. New York, 1 round away from forcing out another round 11.
Different setup this time for New York. They're not going to play aggressive in towards couches. They're going to double stack in and around bedroom to watch the cross towards A. Vegas, can you get the information on this? Guy's tagged up. Temp just windshield wipers his way to a kill, but HyDra down low takes down 2. HyDra's isolated, and that does lead to an opportunity for TJ to secure the trade, but in a 2v2, KiSMET's looking to go quickly. Temp has picked this up, though. The timing of this read is exquisite. KiSMET does get out, realizes that his plan has been foiled, and Vegas, with those tags, will look for a plan on A.
It's redemption time. You covered space. Get the bomb planted today. You know that KiSMET might try to flirt with the flank. They just don't know where Priestahh might be located at.
TJ opts to stay on the bomb, though. Dead silence out. TJ does get across. We stay 2v2. Priestahh through the bottom. Temp takes shots. Oh, the damage is so severe. Trying to flip around, though. Priestahh for the 1v2. No, not going to happen. It's a hit back through mid, and Vegas will stay away from around 11 and put themselves 10 points closer to keeping the gap for that place at top 8. New York will have to wait and try again to lock their position for champs.
You saw the air just leave TJ's lungs with a smile on his face. Have yourself a map number 5, TJ Howley. He was just about doing everything that he possibly could. Decision making was on point. Shots, team shots included, absolutely on point. Even in that final moment, that was his 11th kill. To make the call with the bomb being planted, also just getting away with his life, still not fully maybe confirming that KiSMET was on the flank until Temp got those shots onto him. It just set up TJ for the utmost perfect flank to come through Statue, to pinch up on the damage that Temp was finding over by the Godheady. How about it? Vegas, stay alive in the run for champs. 6-4, the final map here versus New York.
What a series. What an unbelievable series this was between these two squads. And you kind of heard it from the desk. They were talking that, hey, New York, if they're going to continue to try to build on their map fluency and flex in some picks that we have not often seen from them, it does leave the door open for Vegas to take the series. And they get it done on the 1-3-5, even in the face of an absolute beatdown on the HyDra hardpoint. Thing is, we get to the same thing about the Fortress hardpoint for Vegas looking to New York, and even more so, the Expo control, just clean with it was Vegas from start to finish.
Again, a lot of explaining to do for New York when it comes down to Expo. You got to have it prepared for Major 5 and even champs as well. But Vegas, stock's never looking better for Vegas to potentially make that run happen for top 8.
Lots of reactions to be had. So with that, we bring back in Puckett at the desk to break down their thoughts and, well, see if Vegas can keep this miracle run alive.
Let's go Vegas, and shout out to Nameless calling out Clayster as our player to watch. He was the difference maker in that game 5 getting the first bloods, but he also set the tone with that game number 1. The veteran still got it, Nameless.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was going crazy. I mean, you're talking about MVP of the series. Clay was willing them to victory on both those maps. I mean, he took over in that hard point. So many multi-kills, had 29 non-traded, and then we get to that control, the most important map of the series. It's 1-1 at that point. What happens? The very first round, they need Clay to make a heroic effort. Round 1, he finds 3 kills, leading them to that first defensive win, and from then on out, they steamroll them the rest of that map. So for Las Vegas Legion, man, clutching up in your rounds in this game, TJ's 1v2, an incredible series for them.
I mean, the fact that they went to Game 5 versus OpTic Texas yesterday and now go Game 5 against New York and end up closing it out. Again, we talk about them having top 3 strength of schedule heading into Major 5 as a team that is trying to force their way in that top 8 bubble. They needed to start clutching up, and that is exactly what they're doing. I feel like Major 4 was a wake-up call for Vegas Legion in their performance, as it seems like they have seriously taken to practice and have completely overturned a lot of their gameplay. And I thought we would never see Expo control again. I thought we would
New
never
York
see
trolled.
it.
We talked about the map set.
They're not trolling.
No,
they're preparing, right?
Okay, it's fair.
This is a troll. I think putting Expo up against Vegas Legion, which is technically their best control map, I don't think at this point, especially when you're in New York Subliners, you don't try a map pool test right now, especially not in control. You're a strong respawn team.
Well, they have to, right? They almost have to. They're going to get exposed versus top teams. But problem is, it doesn't look like they made any Expo strides in the last couple of weeks, right? So I think they were thinking that going into this series that they were going to win map 1. They probably thought they had the massive edge in that fortress. Clay just went absolutely ham, and then what happens? You lose that game 3. Now all of a sudden you're at a disadvantage. So
we gotta take a look at our Hummer extract mode. While New York didn't get the win, they do get our GMC EV extract mode play, and it comes from a man named HyDra. HyDra taught me during this game that you can do 3 180 dolphin dives and somehow get past 3 Vegas players. Look at this stuff,
Neo right there, bro. I mean, like, how the movement was crazy. He dolphin dived sideways, got out of the room, backwards dived to couches, played his life, and finesses with the deadie all the way on the reflank, and they end up winning this round. Just incredible movement, preserving his life out of HyDra.
That is HyDra with our Hummer extract mode, but he gets an L today. The W and the 10 points go to Vegas Legion. We have Clayster on the line right now, the man who's been fired up since yesterday at 3 p.m. Clay, I know how meaningful these matches have been for you this week. We can see it on your face in game. What are you saying to the squad? What's happening on the comms? What's it like right now in a very pressure-filled situation?
Just a lot of passion, Puckett. We really want to make champs. We know how important all these matches are. I mean, I smell like shit. I'm sweating so hard. Like, we are trying so hard to win these matches. Like, I got to go shower right after this interview, man.
Clay,
you look good.
W gas. I want to ask you, because obviously you guys finally started in winners. It's not the showing that you wanted to happen, you know, and now we head into Major 5 qualifiers. It's the last stride for you guys to try and clinch top 8. What was that conversation like following Major 4 and bombing out the way that you did unexpectedly from us and as you as players?
Yeah, the conversations, I mean, obviously weren't good. We got absolutely speed ran by New York and then choked a 5-2 lead, game 5 with a streak against Florida. And that's just like one of the most like heartbreaking ways to lose. We know how important it all is, but we also understand that we still have a stage left. Like we're not in last place. We're not in 11th place. We're not in 10th place. Like we're on the cusp. Like we're 3 matches worth of points behind. We just got to understand that. Like everyone's talking about, oh, your strength of schedule is so bad. Like it doesn't matter who we play. We've always played the top teams really tight this year. So I think it's actually better for us that we play better teams this stage because we play up and down to our competition consistently. So better practice for us, better reps for us, and hopefully we can keep these points going.
Love that attitude. That's awesome.
Heck yeah. Yo, Jim, so it's 2023. You just had 11.1K damage, a 1.2, absolutely taken over in that series. I was not expecting to see a stat line like that out of you going into this one versus New York. Just a couple days ago, I saw you weren't getting picked in 8s and things like that. How does that, like, going into this, are you trying to make a statement? Like, because you've been taking over these first 2 matches.
Yeah, 100%. I think that I've been super lackluster all year, and especially my LAN performances haven't been as good. I think I've been not being selfish enough, if that makes sense. And so I've really kind of found my own and understand when to be selfish and when to play as a team. Like, I'm one of the biggest team players you'll meet, so it's been a hard adjustment for me to be more selfish. And I think that's really what I've found. I've been grinding a ton, playing a lot of VODs. I mean, I'm still trying to play. And if I go out with a whimper, who knows if I'll get a spot next year. So I'm really trying to put my all into this, and you can see it on my face, on my reaction right there, like how much this means to me. I really want to qualify for champs, and we're doing that hopefully.